What is up? What is up, everybody? It took StreamYard a little bit to register that I had clicked go live. Now, granted, I was still here a few seconds later than normal, so I can't fully blame StreamYard, but I'm going to pretend that I'm really mad at it. I'm not. I don't know that I have the energy to pretend I'm mad at StreamYard. Anyway, well, hello. Happy Monday night. Hope everybody out there is having a good time. Hope everybody had a good Monday. I know that can get a little tricky, but as always, we will start this bad boy by addressing the replay crew. And here's the question: what did you see in the past week that has you excited to take photos of? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall get started now. I'm gonna need people's help tonight because what Monday night generally is going through all the past week's figures that went up for pre-order that I look at and actually think to myself, whoa, these look like they're going to be great under the lights and in front of your lens. The problem is this past week, I only know who one of the characters are only one of the characters. I only know one of them. Yeah, let's just end the whole English part of that. I only know one of the characters, and that was Spider-Punk from SH Figuarts. And spoiler alert, almost, I think everything I'm going to be talking about tonight is from SH Figuarts. Now, if people are interested, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Donatello's Lab from NECA, but yeah, that's why I'm going to need some help. I don't know anything about a lot of the influences that the figures that kind of are up for pre-order. I don't know much about them. So I'm going to need everybody's help when it comes to what the characters are. And then I'm also going to do something a little different tonight. It's a photography channel for toys, toy photography, action figure photography, if you will. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you how I came up with today's Usagi Yojimbo and Leonardo pick. I'm going to show you what I did Photoshop-wise and all those things. I'm going to grab one of the effects that I give away on Patreon, use that a little bit. So you'll see how I put today's photo together. And in case you didn't see today's photo, let me see if this works here real quick, because I have it minimized. So I don't know if it'll allow me to show. Oh, nope, because it's minimized. Hang on. Now I have to make adjustments. All right, here we go. Now we're a little less minimized. Show me. There we go. That is today's photo. And that was actually before I added any kind of anything. You can see if you look in the bottom right-hand corner there where the cursor's moving around, I have all those layers turned off. And it wasn't, I know that looks like a few layers. It is a few layers, but it wasn't a crazy complicated picture to get done. So I figured we'll go over it and I'll show you how I did it. Maybe it'll help you with your photo editing. So now, with all that out of the way, let's chat. Let's see what we've got here. Let's talk to the people. If I can hit the button. Uncarded Reviews. Let's rock. Thank you for showing up. Glad to see you. We're going to have some fun, I think. I don't know. Hopefully you know about some of this SHF stuff, because I got nothing. Harry! What's going on, man? Having fun yet or what? I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing everybody that is in here tonight has been having fun today. And if they haven't, we're going to fix that. I think we're going to enjoy this here stream. What's up, Jericho? Thanks for stopping by, sir. Much appreciated. All right. So why don't we just start her up with some of the other stuff I've got here. And stop that. Every time I stop the screen, I realize how close my face is to it. And it's a scary, scary thought, scary scene. It makes me scary. And then I did things again. I got to stop minimizing. I think minimizing is the problem. All right. In fact, I know minimizing is the problem since I've done it twice now. Okay, folks, here we go. This is talking all about all the things that I know nothing about. So here's a common writer, dude. Now, I will tell you straight up, I know nothing about common writer, like nothing. But I've seen enough D-Amazing videos where he's making them look so good that I'm actually curious about checking common writer out, because a lot of these figures, it's almost like SHF. I don't know how accurate these are to the source material just because I've never seen it, but it feels like SHF just decides to turn it up when they do common writer stuff. So if anybody knows anything about these things, here's the deal. I tend to put SHF figures, SH Figure Arts figures, for anybody that doesn't know SHF, I tend to put these in these features because they almost always come with extra hands, extra heads, weapons. Their articulation is generally ridiculous. All those things, there's no waist cut, and all those things lead to great opportunities for action figure photography. So even though I know nothing about these things, that's why they tend to make it into these streams. Hello, AR. Thanks for stopping by, sir. Uh-oh. We have another. Whoa. Let's see. I'm guessing he reviews uncarded stuff. All right. So that's what I've got for this one. And so you guys are aware, this is mostly truly going to be a live stream where I'm going to be showing stuff that I know zero about, just so we're clear. But I always think they look really good. So I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just going to let you know. And if we get to a point where I'm going, oh man, I don't know about this, what am I doing? I'm losing the audience and all that. You know what I'm going to do? Watch this. I'm going to just bust out Spot, and I'm going to cheat and be like, oh, look at how adorable Spot is. See, I have my trick. I have my trick all lined up. And there's 4 of these green spots. So I can totally cheat when it comes to that. What do we got? Before I get back into it, we have Harry. They're like the Power Rangers, multiple series and movies throughout the years. I think it started as an anime. I'm not sure. I know that they recently did a movie that was, I think, supposed to be, or maybe they're releasing it, and they just showed a trailer last year. I actually retweeted or tweeted out to D-Amazing asking him if I need to know a bunch of stuff from before, and it sounds like he thinks if we jump in on this latest movie, it'll kind of be like a fresh start for the whole thing. So I am curious about it just because they do such a great job with them. Uncarded, just this and that. You guys, it's always fun. It's always great to have these conversations going on. That is okay, AR. Don't worry about it. I'm barely going to be present because I have no idea what I'm talking about character-wise. I mean, I think the figures will all be cool. Let's see. He does. All right. Mr. Martinez, thank you for showing up, man. We're going to do things a little different. If you weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to talk a lot about these figures that I thought went up that are going to look good for your photos. But then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the picture I did for today so you can see how I did it. And maybe it'll help some of you out. Plus, it is an action figure photography channel. I got to throw that in when I'm not able to make real videos, right? Let's see. Oh man, he does. I like a lot of the figures that you show off, AR. Let's see, if you want really cool, look up Mafex Guyver. Mafex did Guyver? Was it? Oh man, okay. We'll be checking out some Mafex Guyver because you know me. You know me, and basically you're cheating every time you put the word Mafex in front of it. You know I am what the kids call Asaka. All right. Oh. Figure arts. No worries. I know of the figure arts Skyver, and I do think it looks good. So we'll see. We'll see what I do there. Figuarts is one of those lines. It's tough for me because I've gotten several Mafex figures that are definitive versions of that character in that suit, so to speak, right? So, like, I'm going to want Wolverines in a bunch of suits, but this is the last X-Force Wolverine I'll ever need because it's just that good. So, that kind of thing. SHF, I got some Star Wars figures, and a couple of them seem perfect, but then a couple of them aren't quite there. So it's a weird relationship I have with SHF. But that's just the stuff I know, and I really do have a gut feeling that they just knock it out of the park with a lot of the more anime style stuff that they've got going on. But I could be wrong. This is where my ignorance is showing. All right, let's head back to these guys. So there's this one. I do like the color scheme. I like blue and gold, or that's almost like it's not quite a teal, maybe like a cyan and gold. I kind of like that. And against black, black always looks clean. I mean, one of the cheats for action figure photography, in case you guys haven't heard me talk about it, is the color black. Like, for some reason, black always looks good under lights if you're messing with them. Now, ones that are trickier to light up if you're messing with them are characters that are wearing a lot of white. You almost have to just light around the edges and allow the white to be a little more gray in the front because they can be tricky to shoot. Now, which one's this? I think this is a mock rider. I have the names all set. Yeah, mock. There we go. But yeah, man, like, I wish I knew more. Like, this is one of those things that drives me crazy. I think there's several Kamen Rider figures for tonight. And they're all just so cool. It's ridiculous. I think D Amazing showed off one a while back that was super colorful. And I thought, oh, if I were going to get one, this has to be it. But they've been upscaling them, I guess, a little bit too. So maybe, because one thing with SHF is they're shorter than the rest of my figures, or they feel like a totally different scale. But if they're upscaling them too, maybe that would be better. I don't know things. This guy, I love the scheme on that thing. And again, I know nothing, but I do know that that's really, really cool. Something level. You know what, guys? I'm kind of screwing this up. Let's do this. We're going to make this go away. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to Entertainment Earth. Because I think, yeah, all of them were on there. Because right now I feel like maybe I'm even less informed than I should be. All right. Now, the way I go about this stuff is I always go to action figures. Hang on, I'll make sure to share the screen. But I go to action figures in that category, and then I always click newest listed. There we go. So we have bestsellers. Nah, let's go to newly added. Sorry, it was that one. Now, here's stuff that's been added since. A lot of hot off the truck. I'm not sure that counts, but we'll take it. What's this? Who thinks these Joy Toys are pretty awesome? If I were into 1/18th, I'd probably go nuts on these things. I mean, within reason. The wallet probably wouldn't allow me to go too nuts because they do just a killer job on these things. Yeah, anyway. I'm not saying that I get easily sidetracked, but Joy Toys, the stuff they put out is pretty cool. All right. A lot of Joy Toy. They must have just gone nuts. Now, you'll see me skipping some stuff here. I generally don't talk about 8-inch figures. I don't talk about wrestling figures. That tends to be because they all have waist cuts. I don't think that they're bad aside from that, but for my own personal preference, the waist cut I'm a lazy photographer. So if I have to use legs and arms and weapons and everything to hide a waist cut, I get a little irritated because then sometimes I can't get the angle I want because of it too. So I just totally avoid waist cuts. Good Lord, there's so much wackiness. All right, as I'm digging through here. Wow. And I also don't talk about McFarlane much. I just want them, once they start getting consistent, like consistently good, because they have all the points of articulation. McFarlane is probably the most frustrating company to me because they've got everything there. They're not publicly traded. They could knock it out of the park, and they don't. And so that's really frustrating to me, especially like they have the articulation, but always around the diaper and in the diaphragm joint and everything, they never articulate like they should. So it just bugs me. All right, gonna keep going. Here we go. Here's this duder. Saint Seiya Taurus. What was it? Aldebaran, revival version, Saint Cloth, Myth, EX, action figure. We have Tamashi Nations. Ooh, they're not using SH Figure Arts for this one. But look at that dude. That's a guy that knows what's up. Oops. Thought I'd go back to the chat. All right. Yeah, check out what everybody's up to. I got to go check out some Uncarded. Yeah, I think so. I think the Joy Toy stuff is pretty rad. Let's see, 8-incher Transformers. I mean, which ones though? Like even the, what is it? I'm trying to remember the scale on those things, like what all the different size classes are called. Are they, you'll have to tell me, what's the next step up from Deluxe? Is that Voyager? Because Voyagers aren't quite 8 inches anymore, are they? So the majority of the line, I don't think, is 8-inch. See, LBZ, yo, what's going on, sir? Glad you could make it. All right. Alex, the last McFarlane fig I bought was the Amazon exclusive Lobo with his space bike. And you know, I had that Lobo like way back when, and I thought he was pretty good, but there was a lot of color mismatch on the figure. So I ended up selling him just because I was like, oh, if he had fists. And I would have been tempted to get that space bike if he just had another set of hands. But I gotta say, he looks really good. How does he move? Like, I feel like the one that I had moved much better than a lot of the recent ones, but I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, I mean, that was tempting. The Batmobile is still tempting. So we'll see what I do there. But of course, I'm still a little annoyed that the first Batmobile that came out had a gray canopy. Yeah, this guy with all that shiny metal going on, he is either insanely cool to light up or he's a pain in the butt to light up because you don't want to hit the metal look too hard with light. Like you don't want it to be horribly harsh. This might be one where you use a fairly large light and back it out a little bit just so it'll reflect that light, but it won't be, I mean, like if you have a small light and you hit him really close, like say backlight him, and you get almost a little bit of a silhouette, you're going to get some shine, but it's not going to be insane. But who wants a silhouette with a figure that looks like this? So it's just kind of tricky. Maybe a medium-sized light for lighting this guy up. But yeah, with all that shine, a lot of times those figures can look incredible. You definitely want to use a diffuser of some kind. And here's a cheap trick in case you maybe don't have a diffuser. Just grab a paper towel and put it over your light. That'll help quite a bit with diffusing. I love the facial expressions. Like check that out. He looks really he's all chill here. He's less chill there. And he's kind of half and half there. He just looks angry there. This one cracked me up, though, when I was going through looking at him. Also, he has a serious unibrow going. I don't know if you guys know this. In fact, I don't think you would. I have to tweeze like every other day. It's very strange. Yeah, I think this guy is really good. But of course, like I said earlier, I know nothing about them. I really want that Lobo so bad. He does, man. He looks really good. And you know me, if he had extra hands, I would have been beyond tempted. I would have pulled the trigger on that Lobo. I love the guitar. I love the hair, like where he just looks like he's rocking out on the one head. It does look fun. And I love the slug that he's got of Dog. I think Dog looks really good there too. See, the majority of mainline deluxe Transformers are 5-inch, and then Voyagers are 7, and Leaders are 8 to 11. Commanders are 13 to 14, and Titans are 24. Okay, so 8 inches, I mean, come on, man. Most of that line is below 8 inches, I would say. But I'm not sure. Is there really a size? Is it like 2 or 3? I think like 3 inches for core class. I couldn't quite remember. I haven't picked up any of these in a long time, but I was curious about those rock looking ones. I thought those were kind of cool. Mr. Martin, thanks for stopping by, sir. Glad you could make it. Any interest in AWOC? I don't own any yet, but I may pick up the new rabbit figure kanji. There is definite interest in AWOC. I was telling these guys last time we had a live stream, we were talking quite a bit about him actually, and kanji looks awesome. But just based on name alone, I want the lion just because it's named Hannibal. But then there are several others. They do really good work, and I've not heard anybody say, man, these AWOC figures suck. So it's a line I definitely want to dive into. How deep, I'm not sure, but I need to get Hannibal. I need to get Tiberius because I had a couple dogs growing up named Tibby. So Tiberius is a need. And then I love monkey figures, so AWOC might have me. They might, it's one of those rabbit holes that I'm actually scared of, to be honest. Because I think if I picked any of them up, there'd be problems. So yes, definite interest. But I'm basically just Transformers guy. He is, but it's always fun to have him stop in and chat. Because I need to know more about Transformers. Calabac and Swamp Thing to me are McFarlane's best figures. I thought Swamp Thing looked really good, and I have been tempted to get him on multiple occasions. I don't know about Calabac. I know I was stoked, oddly enough, with the monkey thing. I was stoked to see Cygor, but became way less stoked when I saw reviews about how he was done. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I gotta just get off it and maybe pick another one up and see what happens. Skew Raider, good to see you stopping by, man. Always cool to see the crew in here. And AR obviously thinks so as well. Tragic. Sup, Dave? Sorry I missed your stream yesterday. I hope it was awesome as always. I'm stuck working the graveyard shift and glad you were streaming. Dude, ooh, the graveyard shift. You're okay. Don't worry about it. And thank you, man. I enjoy doing the streams. I want to get back to doing the regular videos too. But right now, it's just not in the cards. I'm working towards it, though. Mr. Martin, I've heard good things about AWOC from a lot of collectors, including quality. So I'm tempted. Now, Jeremiah, are you like me where there's kind of a fear thing? I think a lot of us collectors have this, where you're kind of like, I want to try it, but I also kind of don't because I don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes. Like for me, I have some Action Force figures, and I know that I'm about to dive in, and I'm going to dive in hard. And I fear that Animal Warriors of the Kingdom would be like that. I fear that Monster Force, when that comes out, will be like that. I'm already kind of like that when it comes to the NECA Turtles, like the comic lines, and I never thought I'd be like that. It's scary. It's scary to try something new when you're a collector, just because die wallet die. All right, gents, let's go back here and check out. By the way, if there are any women watching, make sure and let us know in the comments, just so I don't constantly say dudes and dudettes. That would be weird. You two, all you ladies would probably be like, you know what? I'm not a dude or a Well, you are dudettes. You know what? I'm going to stop talking and we're going to go back to the stuff I kind of know about, which is the figures. All right. So there was that one. Well, okay. Here's this guy. Now, what I zeroed in on here, what the heck? I definitely did not click him. No, I in fact clicked Hobie. All right, guys. Push the button. All right, what's everybody thinking of Hobie here? I have to say, I think he looks incredible. I'm not across the Spider-Verse. Like, I love the movie. I loved Into the Spider-Verse, but I tend not to collect figures that are based on movies and cartoons and stuff like that, just because I like my figures to have a more timeless, a look that is really recognizable. And a lot of times the movies and the cartoon stuff isn't all that recognizable. Hang on, I'm shutting down. I got to make the phone quiet. All right. So yeah, what's everybody think of Spider-Punk? I'll tell you, as I'm going through, I zeroed in on this. Look at the head here. Try that. Hobie's head looks great. Like, they knocked that out of the park. I'm pretty stoked about that. A-Wonk is worth a dive, however deep you wish to go. Shallow or deep, it's rewarding. Very nice stuff. See, that's my problem, though, Skew Raider, is I might not be able to control just how shallow or deep I go when I get A-Wonk. Like, literally, the thing that would stop me could be running out of money. So that's a frightening thing for yours truly. I completely understand the fear, but I think I could resist the rabbit hole. Kanji interests me primarily because he reminds me of a realistic bunny Link from A Link to the Past. So there's a character called Link that's a bunny? I am unaware of such things. I'm telling you, I don't know if you've been on when I've made sure that everybody knows this. I'm a bad nerd. But if he reminds you of something that's awesome, I don't see why you wouldn't go for him, especially if you're a little less like me and able to resist that rabbit hole as we talk about kanji. Hobie is a very popular standout from that movie. Great pickup, Dave. Cool character. He looks really good. I think I love the details on him as well. This Spider-Punk is a must for me. Yeah, man. Alex, I think he looks, he is great. And I'll go back through to see some of the other pictures just because the detail is incredible. I kind of paused on Marvel Legends, so I'll probably get this SHF. That's okay. Your collection, LBZ, it deserves this Hobie. It needs this Hobie. I think it's written in stone at this point. Mr. Spencer, you are late, but you're here, and that's what's important. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. We're talking Hobie. We're actually talking, you're here for the one thing that I'm going to be discussing tonight that I know something about. SHF makes the most horrible crotch articulation, but their face print scans are the very best. Their faces are awesome. I see Mafex is getting there, but they don't have what SHF has yet. Now, the crotch, are you talking like how they kind of cut the thighs, right? Hang on, I'm going to go back, see if I can find that. Because it looks like they've kind of, because I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I can find a better, and I can't zoom in very well. Like, it doesn't look like they did it so much here. This is fun. All right, guys, we're going to sit here and we're going to look at Spider-Punk's crotch for a little bit. Hope everybody's cool with that. I'm trying. Here we go. This one might do it. Yeah, you can't really tell there either. I think he's going to be okay here. It almost looks on one of them Something I saw, it almost looks like they're doing it a little bit more like NECA is, where it's kind of hidden. Oh man, I wish I could go in a little more. It won't let me go in more. I know what you're talking about with a lot of figures. I had, or I didn't have them. The Final Swing Suit Spider-Man has what you're talking about, I think. Mr. Martin, you never played The Legend of Zelda? Oh, Bunny Link. Okay, okay. You know what? Full disclosure, I never played The Legend of Zelda. Again, bad nerd, but I know who Link was. I didn't know that he had like a bunny version. You want to talk to me about video games? All I've got is basically Super Mario Brothers through Super Mario Brothers 3 in that franchise. There's some Star Fox going on a little bit, not a lot. Like I remember Star Fox, and I think he had a buddy that was flying too, that was maybe a frog. Maybe I'm wrong. Then there was a little bit of Metroid. I did enjoy some Metroid. And then, let's see, oh, Halo. Halo 1 through Halo 3. I love that series, and that's the last time I got into video games. I feel like there's a lot of nerding that I still need to do. Skew Raider. I limit dives with focus on favorites, like you said, and only expanding if money permits, like monkeys, rabbits, Hannibal. They're good enough to start. You can do it. Monkeys. See, the monkey one would kill me. I'd have all the AWOT monkeys. I'd probably get several Sun Wukongs. I need at least 6 because of the super action stuff pack that gives us 6 bananas. So wait, that's yeah, that's I don't know, man. I don't know. We're still on a little bit more of a client and job hunt. And when that happens, maybe things will pick up in a crazy way. We'll see. Like I said, I only have 2 and slowly we'll get more. Yeah, see, what the heck, man? You're okay. I'm kidding. I kid. I love the way SHF figs look, but I'm bummed that they're not quite 6 inches. I know when D Amazing talks about the Kamen Rider figures, he does say that they're creeping up in scale, but I don't know how widespread that is, and I don't know if they're creeping up enough to be like I don't have most of my domestic stuff is not superhero stuff. In fact, none of my domestic stuff except maybe I think my Marvel Legends Black Widow is domestic, but Mayfax is a lot taller than people give it credit for. I think they based it on Spider-Man, who is admittedly too short, but like Superman holds his own against a Marvel Legends figure. So the point there being basically that SHF is still too small for Mayfax, but what I'd like to see is if they're creeping up, I want to see if they start getting to where they're lining up with what Mayfax has going on. That'd make me happy, and I'd be a lot more tempted too, which would make me not happy because Mr. Stabby the Wallet would be angry. Yeah, Dave, the way it's all unnecessarily cut up. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. I couldn't see it very well on this one, but I think for some reason I think I've seen something where it looks like they're trying to not use that so much. I got John Walker Captain America and he looks great, but not in scale with anything, really. Which one was it? Did SHF do a John Walker or is it the Marvel Legends one? I hear SHF Star Wars are more in scale. They do a pretty good job of keeping those in scale with Black Series. So those are pretty good, I think, honestly. All right. So we've got Hobie there. Now let's head back. I want to see there really is, guys. There's all kinds of stuff. I know nothing. In fact, here, we're going to skip this guy unless you guys look and you say, no, go back. Let's talk Naruto. But we, of course, have to go to Monkey. Monkey D. Luffy? I don't know. I like to say Luffy. Luffy just sounds weird. It's kind of like Mayfex versus Mafex. I think Mayfex sounds mighty, and Mafex sounds really understated. And they're just not, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't know things. But Monkey here, every time they make a figure of this dude, I always just laugh. Like this picture here, he looks legit insane. And this, of course, cracks me up because that's kind of what I think of when I think of monkeys, is they're just nuts. And then you've got running with a big chunk of meat on the bone. He looks a little crazy there too. I'm getting maybe, what was the movie with Tom Hanks and the volleyball or whatever, where the volleyball's name was Wilson? Yeah, that one. I'm getting those vibes from Monkey here. I love, like, there's so many cool figures that I know nothing about. Like, oh man, he looks like he's ready to maybe sacrifice it to the Monkey D. Luffy gods or something. I don't know. Or he's sorry, guys. I can't help it. He's nuts. He's crazy. Ah, then they went and photoshopped him into a boat there. Yeah, I think he cracks me up. Let's head back to the chat and see if everybody's like, no, show Naruto. What's wrong with you? SHF scale does run smaller. That is true. It is. It is. I keep hoping that I'm going to see a D Amazing video where he compares something to a Mafex and they stand shoulder to shoulder. It's SHF. The shield throw effect is great. Gotcha. Gotcha. I've been tempted on some of those, like even though I'm not a movie guy, I feel like you almost need to have a movie Cap, a movie Iron Man, and a movie Thor versus a movie Thanos, just for that last scene in Endgame. And SHF has really good stuff, but so does Mafex. So I'm kind of torn. Obviously, I'd have to get the SHF Thanos, though. Almost worth the price. Mr. Spencer, if you enjoy the figure, he is totally worth the price. Skew Raider, spider characters normally don't need to worry, but I would look up how tall the Hobie figure is and make sure, Dave. Yeah, I think he looks really cool, but like I said, I don't really get into cartoon and movie figures. I just think they nailed him. Looks wise, though it's great. Yeah, looks wise, he's pretty incredible. See, Luffy is super characterful. He totally is. And the way they do the faces for him, it always cracks me up. Oda, the creator for One Piece, definitely is his own style. I love it though. I love it. Let's see, I meant the shield throw effect. It's almost worth the discounted price of the whole thing. Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. My fault. All right, let's head back here. Monkey, I probably should know that I even had him listed in the newsletter when I put it out. Like, I looked all this stuff up for that. I should have known he was One Piece. And that makes her One Piece because she was in the picture with him, I believe. Push it. Not sure what's going on at her waist, but her shirt is low enough. There are exceptions to the waist cut rule. And the exception here could possibly be that the waist cut would be hidden by the shirt. But if it's a waist cut, she still doesn't have any range at the waist. So that would be annoying. And I don't see any indication that there's a ball joint there. No, no. She's got crazy articulation, although the skirt's kind of hindering it, which I wouldn't notice, except SHF has found a lot of ways to get around the skirt thing. I would say this is more Oda being Oda. That's a good look. She almost looks a little crazy there, too. I do. You know what? If nothing else, guys, we probably need to buy her just so we can get the treasure chest. And apparently there's a crazy face that comes with her for Monkey. Nami. Cool beans. I mean, I love the look of a lot of this stuff. Let's go see how everybody's doing here. Mr. Martinez, my old school anime is Battle of the Planets and Robotech. I would like to see SHF or Mayfex take a shot at making them. Ooh. Robotech, I remember. I don't remember Battle of the Planets. But Robotech would be ridiculous. It's kind of weird because a lot of the old anime style, a lot of it looks fairly similar. So I feel like SH Figure Arts could totally knock it out of the park. Now, that's me saying that from the perspective of somebody who doesn't watch a lot of anime. But obviously, anime has its own kind of facial style. It's not quite as realistic as we tend to see over here in the West. In fact, my niece, so I got her, in case you guys haven't heard this, I got her some 30-minute Sisters figures, and the first one I got her was named Rashetta. And so every time she sees an anime face on a character, she's like, "Oh, look, there's a Rashetta." So I'm gonna have to teach her a little bit about anime, which is basically gonna be the blind teaching the blind. I won't know things. Ah, push the button. Mr. Spencer, yes, I would pay top dollar for a good Max Sterling fig and Roy Fokker and Captain Global and man, see how these guys it's like we've all got the money we want to spend with these guys. They just have to make the things. I wonder if the market would support them making all the things. And depending, I mean, it sounds like Robotech's a mess. If you guys have ever seen any of Toy Galaxy / Secret Galaxy stuff on Robotech, the rights are a mess, it looks like. So who knows who could even do that? Let's see, Roni Kenshin, Meiji, Kenshin Himura. All right, Kenshin. I've talked about Kenshin before by somebody else. It might have been Figma. Okay, here's some of those unnecessary cut lines you were talking about. Oh, yeah, they didn't get rid of it for him. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't like it so much here. But there's plenty of stuff. I don't like, when they used to take the pictures and show, and maybe it's just Entertainment Earth, but they used to show them standing there with all the accessories. Those were the good shots, I think. So instead, let's see, 5.3 inches tall. Let's see. Captures dramatic poses with ease. Well, that's good. 4 optional expressions, 4 left and 3 right optional hands, reverse blade sword sheathed, and optional belt. So clearly this one comes with enough stuff. Yep, if you're into this stuff, man, if you're into Rurouni Kenshin, then you've got a good figure on your hands there. All right, I'm skipping Nami Netflix just because I want to get to Bird Boy here. Shangri-La, Frontline, what is that? Sunraku, or Frontier Sunraku. This guy's cool. I'm trying to think. There's not much here as far as like a photo tip. He's pretty general. He has some good colors. You're not going to hurt him if you light him up really harsh or if you light him up so it's not so harsh. Look at that. That drives me. That's funny. Photoshop is a heck of a drug. That's an angry bird. I don't know what it is, man. There is something about the way the Japanese put their characters together. I feel like Japanese culture treats their own pop culture a lot more seriously than we do in the West. Like even pop culture that's not theirs, they treat more seriously than we do in the West. For instance, my Bayflex Superman and Wolverine and Batman and all that stuff. And even the Star Wars figures, they might not be my favorites, but I like them a lot more than the Black Series because they take them more seriously. So yeah, I can see one day, my collection being largely imports, except the other night we talked imports versus domestic, and domestic is getting to the point where they're killing it based mostly on the independent companies. Yeah, this guy's pretty cool. Mr. Spencer, Robotech is all cleared up now. Just need to get the movie out of development. Heck, really? Awesome. That would be cool if they were able to bring it back then. I had no idea they'd cleared all that stuff up. Off topic, Dune 2 was an incredible movie with some of the best cinematography I've seen in years. I have heard that Dune 2 is probably the best movie in a decade, like bar none, period. That it's just about as good as cinema gets these days, as good as movies get these days. I want to be careful using the word cinema when I'm talking to a bunch of Marvel and DC fans, myself included, because Martin Scorsese, whoo, that's a soft spot, people. But yeah, I mean, I gotta see it. I still have to see the first one, but I do plan. Like, I feel like I need to see those just based on what I've heard about Dune 2. Here, Hiram Raboyo. Hello there. Thanks for showing up. All right, what do we have now? General Kenobi. Okay. See if we've got anything else that needs to be seen before we get into chatting the photo. Oh shoot, I went right back, didn't I? No, maybe not. We're good. We're good in theory. If things start showing up, there's that guy. There's that girl. There's that guy again. There's an Ultraman. I feel bad. Hold on, hold on. Let's find some that I thought were just ridiculously cool. Okay, let's go to this guy. Like, even though I don't know anything about him, you can still just look at the figure and be like, okay, that's rad. This one is, sorry guys, X-Aid. Level 2, Heishi Generations Edition, SH Figuarts action figure. I'm just going to call him X-Aid. I think maybe that's right. He's got a little bit of, I guess, he's got a slight shine going on, but it's not crazy. Look at the poses. I love the designs of Kamen Rider figures. Look at that. That's a cool pairing there. Oh man, it looks like they pretty much knocked out this whole set over the weekend or over last week. Oh wow. Man, this is when I kind of wish I knew what I was talking about. Huh. All right. Well, there was that one. There was X-Aid. I thought he was cool. Let's head. Here's another one that I'm going to click on just because of the cheating. The Spectre. Not really DC style, but we'll go with Spectre anyway. Again, he's got some slight gloss to the blue paint anyway. And then he's wearing a lot of black, so that's going to look good under lights. You might have to diffuse it a little bit because of the gloss on the blue, but you also might not have to. It might just be that the light they used really is bringing it out there. What is that thing? Oh, yeah, that thing's insane. Guys, I feel like I need more Kamen Rider in my life. Cool, cool. It's all cool, man. All the stuff that we find is cool. It's almost sad. Let's see, what about the new Guyver that will be released next year? Oh boy, you're the second person to bring up that Guyver. I guess I better go find him. Is he up? He's not on pre-order yet, right? Hang on, let me see. Oh, pre-sold out. Well, he was on pre-order. Is this the one you guys are talking about? I'm assuming so. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, I wish I knew about it. I mean, I wish I knew more about the character. He doesn't seem to have the insane lines going on at the hips. See, these are the kinds of pictures I appreciate just because it shows us everything they come with. But let me know if I've hit this on the, if I've hit it on target. So I'm assuming, what is it, pre-sold out, comes out, oh no, June of this year. This probably isn't the one you guys are talking about. LBZ, I have that Spectre. He's great. I still got to get the main KR Ghost, Common Rider Ghost. Let's see, it's Big Bad. Okay, I'll go check out Big Bad here in a sec. Let's see. Yeah, man, everybody, like, you're not the only ones. I've actually heard people talk about Guyver quite a bit. Anime probably holds up. Live action, maybe not so much. Oh, man. I have that Guyver 2X so much better than the 2005 Biofighters version. All right, let's head over to BBTS and go find him. And then we'll get to the image. Oh, there's the AWOC, guys. Why didn't I know these were up? Like here. Oh, these totally would have made the newsletter. And they would have made tonight's discussion. Sorry, we're talking Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Okay. I wonder if they must have just gone up. Holy jeez. Okay, we've got another one that's all good and sold out, it looks like. Or is this the same one? Ooh, busted. This is the same one, isn't it? Help me out, guys. I just typed it in, and that's the only thing they came up with. AWOC is still in Kickstarter. That's right. And BBTS will go in and decide they're going to buy a bunch, right? And the Kickstarter, is the Kickstarter funded? We'll go and check if you guys aren't sure. For some reason, I thought it was. That's the one. All right. So we did have it over at EE, it looked like. Oh, yeah, very funded. So that's why BBTS is like, we're buying a bunch. Here are your pre-orders. Alex, Python Patrol Classified series is on sale at Target, just for a heads up. People were bringing that up yesterday, that they saw a lot of that going on. So anybody, if you guys are into Python Patrol, looks like you're going to be able to find them cheap at Target. So head that way. Good times, good stuff, all the good things. All right. Now, because this is a toy photography channel, and I haven't gotten to talk all that much about toy photography, first off, let me know who all here uses Photoshop. And if you don't, just a quick heads up, you can sign up for a free Adobe account on, I think it's account.adobe.com, and then you can get a free version of Photoshop Express. And it does a lot of the things that I mess with Photoshop. So you might be able to use that to do the stuff I'm about to talk about. Let's see. I do not use Photoshop. Dang it, John. That's okay. I'm going to show this just because of what I just said. You guys can, if you want to give it a shot, and it's a free account, and it's free to grab the Adobe Photoshop Express for your phones just to play. And so I'll show you a little bit of how it works so that if you decide to go for it, game on, you'll go in and you'll grab it. So let's go to present here. Oh my goodness. I had it clicked off a little bit. Here we go. All right. Now, this is the picture. This is the original pic that I took with, with Usagi and Leo. This is one of the Usagis from the Year of the Rabbit 4-pack. And that's Leo from the Mirage Comics, Mirage Studios / Eastman and Laird NECA 4-pack. I dig both figures. Now, this was shot. There's been no photoshopping as of looking at this right now. The way that I lit them up was I used blue lights from the back corners and used a slight orange light to highlight this area through here to give all that a little more color. And then beyond that, I used my phone, actually. I have a, what's it called? I think it's called Best Night Light. And I set it on a pretty light color. And I set the shutter to so it would go for, I think it was like 0.8 of a second. And then I put the light over them and just held it there. So that's why you get this light coming from the top, is that came from my phone. All the other light you're seeing came from some thin panel lights. And because it was thin panel lights and fairly small panel lights, that's why you're seeing so much contrast going on. It's a good tip if you're doing night shots as well to use some of those thinner lights, those smaller lights, my bad. So that's what it was, or that's what it was when I shot it initially. And now what I did was I grabbed, let me see, it's up here somewhere. I grabbed this. I created this I created this for the Patreon for one of the freebies. It's called Haze, and it's up on the Patreon right now. I mean, you might have to do some digging, but there is an area called Collections on the Toypixx Patreon page. And if you click in Collections, you'll be able to find it a lot easier. So remember that everything I have on Patreon is free. You can head to the Toypixx Patreon page, grab this. And so what I did from there was I copied and angled that. See, we have normal, bang, and then I just put it up there. I set it at linear dodge, and linear dodge just kind of lightens it up a little bit. Like, here's the difference between linear dodge and normal. There you go. It was copied in there. I did cut a lot up along the top edge so that we didn't have any kind of line being seen up there easily. Linear dodge hides the black in the image. Screen would have done the same, but I liked the color that was coming from linear dodge more. And so we did that, or I did that. And then I just copied it and put another one in here. And here's a pro tip. Believe it or not, we have a tip I learned from the mom. So if you're sitting there frustrated and you can't figure out how to do something, if somebody on the side offers a tip, even if they know nothing about the program or what it is you're doing, don't just dismiss it. Listen, because at one point I was messing with something that needed a lot of clouds. And I had the original layer there, and I was going, man, I need some thicker clouds here. This needs to happen, that needs to happen. And mom said, well, can't you just copy that and put it in another layer right on top of it? And for whatever reason, I just hadn't thought of it. And she's never played with Photoshop, but she said that, and bam, it worked immediately. So don't just dismiss those people that might have some tips for you. They might come up with something. So that was really a simple thing. All you have to do to copy a layer is you just grab the layer, drag it down to new layer, and presto, you get copied layer. Now with this one though, I did bring down the opacity a little bit, because had I left it the way it was, let's see here, I felt like it would have been way too bright. So I went back to 35, and there you go. And then I thought that this was too bright in the upper right-hand corner, and I wanted the upper left-hand corner, and then I wanted the lower right-hand corner to match. So I added this slight black vignette. Didn't think that was dark enough, so did another copy and added that and changed the opacity there as well. So that's what we've got for this so far. Let me make sure that, head back to the chat, see if everybody's keeping up, doing okay with this. John, lights are what I need more than anything. Yeah, man, this set I got of these panel lights, I think it was about 40 bucks, but it came with 8 gels or filters for each light. And it was pretty amazing what all it came with. Like, there's a pink filter, there's a gray filter, there's a purple filter, there's this orange filter that I use to light the front of these guys. It's just insane what all it came with, because the first set that I got with the panel lights was just your basic blue, red, and yellow. And there's so many more options that I have now. It's really cool. So I was stoked to get those. So, okay, that's how I did so far with all that. Oh, hang on, hang on. Mr. Matson, evening, folks. On my way home listening. Awesome, man. Hopefully you had a good day, and it'll only get better. That's where the fun's at. Thanks for stopping by and listening on your way home, man. I appreciate that. All right, now from there, you guys have seen me maybe talk about the selective color layer. It's an adjustment layer that I mess with. And you can see between, that's how the shot was shot, plus those other effects that I put in there. And then you see that the color was messed with a little bit to give it just a slightly different look. And the way selective color works is really easy. If you go into it, it's just these sliders. So you just slide till you get the look that you want. These are your basic cyan, magenta, yellow, black, your CMYK channels going on here. And you pick which color you want to affect. So right here, I wanted to affect the reds. And by scooting them so that there was less cyan, I actually made more red, because red's the opposite of cyan. So I went this way, added a little red to the reds, and then I added a little yellow to the reds, just to have a little bit of fun. Had I gone the opposite way with yellow, it would have been blue. And had I messed with magenta, the opposite way would have been green. Obviously, the opposite of black is white. Here's if we go super black in reds. Here's if we go super white in reds. It's all kinds of fun to just play. That's one of the things I love about this stuff. And then you can see here that all there is from that point is you just look at which channel you want to affect, or which color you want to affect. So I messed with yellows a little bit, same sort of deal, where I added a little red and I had a little yellow, but that was about it. Greens, I didn't mess with greens, oddly enough, I don't think. Nope. There was enough green, I guess. I don't know that I did mess a little bit with whites. I added some red and I added some yellow to that as well. And I made a little lighter. I dropped down some of the black. But you can see it's really just playing. It really is. It's just messing with these sliders. With the neutral colors, which are going to be more of the midtones, I added a touch of cyan and a touch of yellow. Nothing too crazy there. And with the blacks, I added quite a bit of cyan. And when you're moving towards, like when you're in the black channel or the black color, you're trying to affect that. When you move to the right using the CMYK, what's going on there, you're just going to affect kind of the outside edge of the really black area. If you move left, then you'll see that the color that you move toward is really affecting what's going on in the black areas there. So you don't want to do that necessarily, but sometimes it gives a really cool effect. So that's why I'm constantly all about playing. But like I say, the reason that CMYK, the reason those colors, when you move them to the right, don't do a lot to the black area is simply because CMYK, they make black when you mix those colors together. So that's the long and short of why that's not going to happen for us. I wish, I have to say, that when I moved it over to magenta side, it would get a little more magenta, but that's just not happening. So that was pretty much it. Then I dropped in the Toypixx logo and it was set. And the way I know how to drop in the Toypixx logo or where to is I know the size of these images. I make the image at 3,504 by 1971 because that preserves the 1920 by 1080 resolution for when I'm posting on social media. So, and that's also like the size that my camera shoots is the 3504. Then I just have to crop it a little bit. So the way that I decide where the Toypixx logo is going to go is I put in lines 100 less. So 3504 minus 100 is 3404. And then horizontal line 1971 minus 100 is 1871. So you'll see here when I hit extras, that's where those lines went. And when you've got these all set up, dropping Toypixx right into here is really easy. So that's how I do all that. It wasn't an overly complicated setup today, but it was still a fun one to shoot. So that's what I've got for that. Harry, this is great. Real meat and potatoes of toy photography. Awesome, man. I'm glad you appreciate it. Glad you dig. It is something that I need to get back to a little more, and I might bust out a few more of these when it comes to Thursdays, just to show how it's all set up. Like what I should have done here is probably take a photo of the whole setup so you guys could see how the lights were situated. But honestly, what I need some of those post lights that you can just stand up on the table, because right now all my lights are off the table because they're on tripods. So I need to work on that a little bit. But yeah, there we go. That's what I have as far as what's going on with all this. Now, that said, I'm just saying head over to the Toypixx Patreon. Like I say, you can join as a free member. You don't even need to join like a paying tier. You can join on the free tier and you can get all this stuff. Like this image on Friday will go up and you'll be able to have it if you like it. You'll be able to see the actual Photoshop file so you can do what you need to with it. And the haze effect is already up there. So I'm trying to make the Patreon really a place that gives a lot of people value. So if you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to check it out. And now we're going to stop this and I'm going to go back. I want to go back to BBTS so we can close this out, talking about a little more when it comes to AWOC. Simply because I felt like the Kickstarter wasn't that great as far as images were concerned. I mean, they were good images, but I couldn't blow them up so we could get a really good look at the figures. I love all these weapon sets. Whoo! Daci's nice. Alex, awesome shot. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's fun. It's fun to do it, and it's fun to help people learn how to do it. All right, so here we go. We have the Assassin's Weapon set. And we talked, like I said, we talked about this on a previous live stream, but because the Kickstarter, I couldn't blow up the images, I can blow up the images now. And so this stuff is super cool. This is a problem, guys. Every time you guys sit there and you say, Dave, you need to check this out. You need to look at this. Then I'm tempted to spend all the money. Of course, I knew about AWOC, so I can't really blame you guys for this one. Oh man, look at that weapon set, Wolverine style. Those blades are gnarly. Ooh. This could be, man, maybe AWOC is the alien invaders. I've had this big vision in my head about building a Toypixx army using mostly those urban commandos from Action Force, but then having all of Earth's heroes and villains defending Earth against a bunch of aliens. Maybe these guys could be aliens. Or maybe not. Maybe somehow they're hidden in Earth like Cobra Law, except these are not like Cobra Law because they're cool. No shade on Cobra Law, of course. Okay, there was a lot of shade on Cobra Law. Oh, now see, you can't go from those dingy, gnarly weapons to super clean. These are way less cool, depending on the character, I'm sure. I do like the bow and arrow, though. And I love that they've added paint to all this stuff. Whew. Mr. Spencer, actually, I have to blame you for AWOC. All the reminders to buy Thane actually worked on me. Great, now I need him to work on me. I need Thane. The lore for AWOC is very cool too. Brick Something goes over the lore and AWOC news updates on the podcast with their co-host. It's Keito and Inutabi also talk about the figures and give news too. I have to check out Brick Something's popped into here a couple times. I need to go check out his stuff. I've seen him do some guest appearances on other places, but I haven't gone to just see what his channel's all about. Obviously, he does quite a bit with AWOC. Awesome, John. Thane is solid and chunky. Yeah, yeah. He's a big, just wicked gorilla. See, Thane is great. Made my top 5 or top 6 of the year. Oh, man. That's right, John. I think you showed me like your post for that. I think you can get the first issue of the AWOC comic for free. Oh, man. You guys are just kind of throwing me under. Let's see. Brick is a cool dude. Yeah, he seems it every time he comes on here. And when I've seen him on other stuff, he seems like a good guy. All right. Let's see here. Okay, we've got, kind of blunderbuss pistol style. And I know we saw these. I love these ridiculous swords. Giant hammer. Ooh, man. Spiro Toys knows what's going on. They do good work. But I think the real important thing to look at here is our boy Hannibal. Oh, man. This is the first time I've gotten a really good look at him. He looks like a happy guy. Ladies and gentlemen, pro tip, do not mess with Hannibal. He looks like his legs would fall under the weight of carrying that giant mace-type weapon. That is cool. Like, I say things like that. It sounds like I'm complaining. No way. That thing is awesome. And here is Deluxe Kali Prime. He looks even meaner. Actually, the first one just looked totally just kind of a sinister look, but crazy intelligent sinister. Like somebody you don't want to go against because he's already like 18 steps ahead of you. This one looks a little more primal, a little less intelligent. Like this one's just coming at you with everything he's got. Ooh, looks wicked though. Yep, I totally agree, Skew Raider. Spaded one. He was a skater boy, she said. See you later, boy. That's who we need. We need Avril to show up on a live stream. I knew a buddy of mine. He was like, that's my favorite song ever. He wasn't a skater boy. It was very strange. You are too, for that matter. Chad is cool peeps. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But yes, it's all about the chat. It's all about how you guys are super awesome in there, and I appreciate that. See, I know some things. I'm a bad nerd in most ways, but once in a while, somebody will throw something at me, and I actually kind of know. All right. Ooh, Boone the Pirate. I do love that they've gotten into cyborg parts. That's messed up. He almost needs an eye patch. Yeah, don't mess with Boone the pirate. No, no, guys, this is rough. And now we've got kanji. All right, here it is. Here's the rabbit. He can go well with my Usagi Yojimbo army. Usagi actually looks as serious as this guy. It's just this guy looks a little more realistic. Let's see if I can find, what do we have here? Let's try this one. This is like Usagi is not here to play. He's a serious character, and don't you forget it. Like that is an angry bunny. Woo. Or just a really serious one. I don't know. All right. We're back. Ooh, I learned a trick there. Yay. Yeah, he looks good. I don't know. It can be tough to find other things to say. Oh, you know what? I should read the story on this guy. He's almost got, as I'm looking at all this stuff and seeing all that, with the colors, he's almost got a Robin Hood vibe. And apparently a Link vibe as well. I just need to learn things. Lady Jadoo. She's going to be great for photography too, just because of all the black fur going on, and even the blues are pretty dark. Lighting her up is going to be cool. And that I love when they add just that crazy pop of color to something, like just that red hair there is, it's just a nice little extra. Also, don't mess with her, because you don't want to mess with a character that has a whole lot of blades, because they're crazy. With the buckles and everything too. That's a cool figure. Oh man. Mother Mala. I wonder if that's the mom of Kali. That's a crazy shield. I love the colors on this figure. Like when they just add in, like I said before, when they add in just a little pop. This one has a lot more than a little pop, but what's really cool is with all the matte stuff she's got going on, having that shiny gold as well. It's just another way for some contrast, and it looks like a real shiny blue necklace going on. I love that kind of contrast, not just color, but finish too. It really adds a lot to these things. It's one of the reasons that I picked up, well, not one of the reasons I picked him up, but one of the reasons I really kind of enjoy the cartoon collection He-Man. If you have that figure, all the skin, the hair, all that is totally matte, but his armor is good and shiny, and it's really cool. Oh, man. I don't even know what to say with this guy. Yeah. He does go a little jokery. If he were a little more saturated in the green, we'd have basically the Joker in AWOP style, and maybe that's what the character is. Because with the whole chameleon thing going, with how bulgy-eyed, bulged out his eyes are, maybe that's the deal. Ooh, great. Now I'm looking at him thinking, hey, we have a crazy character. And if nothing else, crazy characters are what we should all aspire to buy, if not be. Corvius, the Cold Blood. Oh man, I love that huge axe-like weapon. Don't mess with Corvius, people. Yeah. Yeah, and everybody, like you guys have said, the quality on these is supposed to be fantastic. The finishes on them, it's great. Oh, this is a rabbit hole I'm very scared of. Harry, these must be digital renders. I would think so. But I have to hope that with the renders, they would have gotten the shine and everything else right. This is going to be another rabbit hole for me. Alex, you and me both, man. Once I can, I think I'm a little afraid of what AWOC holds for me. With another rabbit ally through Soggy into the rabbit hole away. That should just be the joke thing going on. Every company now needs a bunny. I need to go back and get the one from the Black Series. There's a lot of bunnies out there, people, and they're all rabbit hole bait. Boone is probably the closest thing to a Sly Cooper fig we're going to get. Sly Cooper. I should know that one. Is that was Star Fox, wasn't it? Good Lord. Harry, read the included. No heads or hands. What? No heads or hands? Oh, that doesn't make me happy. Hang on. On the other hand, let's see here. I'm wondering because they never listed with the original series, they never listed that they came with extra hands, and then they came with extra hands. So I'm curious if they're going to do the same thing here. Like, I guess I was just assuming they do the same thing. They didn't have extra heads. You are correct there. If I hadn't been in already, the chameleon guy would have sold me. He's basically the Joker, I've decided, for AWOC. Yeah, he's cool. Mother of Pale should be. That's right. That's right. They have the coloring to look more like Kali, so I keep assuming that's what's up. But you guys have brought that up before, too. I think the eyes are articulated in the gecko guy or the chameleon. I should probably go back and check that out. Skew Raider. Yeah, they are articulated. Very dope. Yep, the chameleon. Okay, got it. Thank you, Skew Raider. See, the monkeys had hands and a baggie. That's what I'm saying. Like, originally, they came with hands, so I'm curious as to whether or not these will as well. Ah, man. Yeah, a lot of good stuff we're looking forward to here, guys, even if our wallets aren't. Most of them do. Question, John and Harry, everybody. Is it the troop builders that don't really come with hands, or do they all? I'm trying to remember what's what. Yeah, I'd be interested in that as well. And we've got John. Let's see. Skew. All of the figures I got have alternate hands, and Thane has an alternate head. Oh! Thane just keeps getting better and better. I guess what we need to do is check out some reviews, although nobody's going to have these in hand yet, I wouldn't think. But my assumption would be, I wish they would list those things, because my assumption would be that all the others are going to come with that, or come with those hands. Whew. All right, guys. With that, I'm going to call it there simply because I have an ad I have to run that's already created, so I just have to run it. But then I have to come up with another ad and start that one. So it's going to be a long night. Plus, I need to get a little more exercise done. Good Lord. Then I have to wake up at 5. This is awful. Anywho, I've got stuff to do. So I'm going to call it. Thanks as always for stopping by and hanging out, checking out the figures. Always a blast to chat with you guys. So until next time, have fun, happy snapping, and well, see ya. I'm going to hit the end stream, and then we're going to try some kind of weird face here that maybe I haven't tried before. There we go.